Hey, guys. Welcome to another episode of Cocktail Therapy, the podcast. I am your host, Evix Key is Faith. And I got my girl tonight with me, Miss Shamika Williams. She is here with me this evening. Um, and I want her to introduce herself, but my drink of the evening, because we have these conversations over drinks. So my drink of the evening, I got a glass of wine. I got some Moscato tonight. Cause I was at work all day and work be working me sometimes. So I didn't feel like making nothing up or mixing nothing up. It's just that sometimes you just need a simple glass of wine. So so that's what I have tonight. Um Shamika, introduce first of all, did you get anything to drink?
I didn't. I
Okay,
didn't.
which is fine. You're not required to. Uh,
I had
but
some Dr. Pepper.
Dr. Pepper is lit. Do you understand me? Dr. Pepper is that drink. Uh, um, what I want you to introduce yourself.
I'm Shamika. Officially, originally born and raised in Flint, Michigan, and made my way to Memphis. I have now been here 10 years. I have four children. 19, 10, 15, and 8. I'm a manager for Old Navy. I have a nonprofit, which I am the CEO and founder of, called Let Love Lead. And I own a lingerie store called Dominique's by Dimples, which is a lingerie and sells sex toys and all that good stuff.
I'm gonna have to holler at you about that lingerie we called when we were in undergrad. When we were in college, we called the lingerie. I'm gonna have to holler at you about the lingerie. I ain't got nobody to worry for, but I'm gonna have to holler at you about lingerie. Okay.
You ain't gotta wear it for nobody but
Baby,
yourself.
but I be wanting to wear it for somebody. That's all I'm saying. Look, I be wanting to wear it for somebody. Um, so I have Shamika on here because she has a phenomenal story. Uh, wow, healing. Um, dealing with past relationships and situations uh, that she had to break away from and go through a journey of healing that she's currently on. But I definitely wanted her to share her story. But I do want to get some background before we get into the story. I want to get a little background. Shamika, you're from Flint, Michigan. You born and raised there from there.
I am. I am.
Well, tell me what growing up
I
in
am.
Michigan. Okay. Tell me what growing up in Michigan was like for you.
Woo! What is growing up like? um, it wasn't bad for me growing up. It's not the
Okay.
same now. I don't think I would ever move back home. Um, I was raised in a two family household. I have three sisters. Um, just like a day to day normal thing. I mean, the generation has changed now. It's not the same.
Right.
Graduated from there. At my time, we used to go out. We did the poetry slam, sneaking in the clubs when we were little. Younger. Still the mom and daddy moonshine, that type of stuff. But now things have
The kids are
changed.
wilding out.
Um, Crime is yeah, it's yeah, it's I wouldn't go back to stay.
Got you, got you,
I
got
go
you, got
home and visit my daddy, but yeah, and my visits kind of decreased when my mom passed. So it's like what was once home is kind of not home anymore. That's how I'm feeling. So
you.
yeah.
Okay. Totally understand. Well, let's get into kind of your relationship journey. Um and I guess I don't know where to start, so I'm gonna let you start with kind of some of your kind of your relationship journeys that got you to this point that you are now on your healing journey.
Well, mine started in high school. You know how you get
Okay.
your high school crush, high school sweetheart. Yeah, I had that for a little bit. Um, didn't turn out so well. What I thought was gonna be my knight in shining armor turned into hell. Even as a
Mm.
teenager, I was on the edge of getting ready to graduate high school, and he had stopped going to school. My daddy loved him. My mama didn't like him so much, but my daddy did. My daddy thought he was this awesome young man, but he didn't go to school. I guess you could say I liked the rough neck thuggish type when I was in school.
Gotcha.
Cause I mean my
You want
parents
you a
were
bad boy.
strict.
Yeah.
Yeah, cause my parents were strict, couldn't do nothing. Couldn't go got a outlet that was the outlet.
Right.
I know my daddy probably gonna watch this. I don't know if he gonna watch it or not. But I used to skip class real bad when I was a senior.
Well, at this point, look.
They would drop me off. It started my junior year actually. They would drop me off. I attend my first two classes, and then he can't do nothing to me now.
No, at this point,
I used to catch the bus and be on my merry little way, come back and still was an honor roll student and everything. Um, then my senior year kind of changed a lot. Um, I got pregnant my senior year. I was also a car accident my senior year, and that's when tables turned. Um, the child was not his because of the situation. I was raped when I was in high school, um,
mm,
and that's when everything bad started happening for me. That's when the hitting started. That's when the abuse started. That's when the name calling started. Um, it was a lot.
yeah.
The burning my arm with cigarettes and everything. And it's like,
Mm.
my daddy liked you. So that
But your
turned
mama
bad.
do.
I was able to
Yeah.
get away from that situation
Right.
when he went to prison. Rite Aid to her car, snatched her purse, took her money, took her car. They ended up finding him probably like maybe 10 minutes later. So I was able to break away from that. I didn't deal with nobody for a long time from me graduating high school up until I was 20, maybe around 22, 23. Um, and then that's when I met my middle child's dad. Um, Me and him were together for 7 years.
Mm.
Um, Me and him had, it wasn't good and it wasn't bad. We had more, we really had more good times than bad times until the cheating came involved.
Mm.
Um, because I had one of his daughters, which is my oldest, well, my middle daughter, his oldest daughter, um, and he actually wanted me to term the baby. I kept her
Right.
because I had already had one termination, so I ended up with her. I feel bad for getting rid of the first one, but that wasn't in God's plans to keep her, so I kept the second one.
Mm-hmm.
She was born a premature baby as well. That's kind of when our rocky situation starts. When I had her, that's when the cheating started. I mean, you can walk from my house, which is a 30-minute drive, for you is like a 2-hour walk. That's how bad he was cheating.
Mm.
When you can walk in snow to cheat, that's how I know you wasn't meant for me. You
Yeah.
can walk miles in snow to cheat. It's probably about time for me
Mm.
to let you go, but I didn't.
Right.
Still stuck around. He had already had 2 kids prior. Prior to that, they had already had moved into the house with me, and just trying to be a mother figure to 2 other kids that were not mine because they needed that love, they needed that attention. But that wasn't something that he really cared about either. Um, Probably maybe into the sixth, 7th years when the cheating got really bad, he ended up having a baby on me. Yeah. So it's
Mm.
like, okay, you say you love a person, but how can you cheat and then have a child with someone you say you love? I mean, we had did the whole marriage license and signatures and everything,
Oh wow.
but the
Y'all were like,
cheating was yeah,
wow.
had the whole wedding plan. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Woo. No, no, no.
And I really
Uh-uh.
don't regret after that happened. I don't regret any of that that's happened because it made me really who I am. It made me see who other people really truly are before you take that big step. And that was something that I needed to see. Even though we signed it, we didn't go as too far as exchanging the vows
Yeah.
because I'm pretty sure that would have been hell for me. I probably would have been in jail. Um, Stayed away from them that type of relationship for a second. After he had his daughter on me, I ended up meeting the two little ones there that I have now. We met at a bowling alley. We had went. What did we do? I was working for Target at that time, and we had like a team outing or whatever that we were supposed to have been having. And one of the girls that their dad was supposed to be like his sister. His mom and her mom were dating each other, so they would claim each other as sisters and brothers.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and that relationship kind of went kind of quick, real fast. But he did a lot of cheating. He was not honest whatsoever. My mom actually told me when I was pregnant with his son that he had another girlfriend. He couldn't tell me, couldn't look me in my eye. It was always a no. And at that time, I had started getting used to social media. So I wasn't a nosy type, but my mama was.
Your
So
mama
my
was the
mama would go over
investigator.
there. Oh yeah, my mom was nosy. All my mama needed was your name, your first name, your last name, a picture, somebody you was related to,
Oh, your mama was a
and she
detective, baby.
she would go digging. And she would be showing me pictures and shit because my nickname is Pig with her. And she was like, Pig, he ain't where he say he at. And I'd be like, well, he said he was bowling. She like, nah, Pig, he ain't out bowling. And like she would send me pictures or she would show it. Or if I go to their house, like she'd have it already saved and pull it up.
Mhm.
So I asked questions and it was always the same thing. No, I'm not. What you questioned me for? Are you sure? I would have told you if I was doing this. I would have told you if I was doing that. And in reality, he really was. I found
Yeah.
that out after I had my son that it was someone else because he has a daughter the same age as my son.
Oh wow.
They are 3 months apart. Yeah, Caden
Mm.
will be 10 on Sunday. His daughter will be 10 in February.
Mm.
That's how close it
How close they
is.
were. Yeah.
And then after that, me and him got on a real rocky road. His was starting to be abuse. He chased us, you know, off the highway, running us down. It was a lot. That's how I ended up moving here. I
Okay.
came here in 2015. I've been here ever since. Um, for about maybe 2 or 3 months, nobody knew where I was except my mama. But
Right.
she thought that I was still in the city of Flint and we weren't. Um, so I had wasn't with nobody for 2015 until 2018, a little 2018, 2019, 2018. Um, then I was like, it might be time for me to step out again. Started going on the dating apps, the dating websites, and I met
I
someone
feel
named
a way
TJ.
about them.
He had a friend that worked with.
I do. I feel a
A
way.
lot of people do.
I feel a
It's
way
the
about.
TJs and the DJs.
I feel so. I
It
feel a
does.
way about
And I
them.
think
I
it's wrong.
do.
Is what it is. But see, he wasn't bad. He wasn't like we would share dates. We would do 50-50 dates. but he had a sister-in-law, and he was only two kids, him and his brother. You would thought they were twins as much as they were together and how they looked, but they weren't. He had a sister-in-law. Her name, what was her name? Is it Chelsea? I can't remember her name, but we shared the same birthday. Like we would do like the double dates or whatever. She would start asking him who she was. He was gonna celebrate their birthday with because we shared the same birthday. Now you're married to his brother. You don't need to ask him any type of questions. She was kind of the problem in the relationship. Every time we would look up, she'll be there.
Oh
So
no.
yeah, I ended up giving up my house. We all had moved in together, my kids and his son, and we were gonna, get married. All of a sudden, she was there every day. Her and the brother, every day, sitting in the bedroom. And I would ask him questions like, "Hey, were they over here as much before we decided we was gonna make this arrangement?" He was like, "No." I say this every day. I say this every day when I get off work. She's here. Every day you get off work, he's here. Like we don't have no type of private time to ourselves. Like none whatsoever. They were the problem. It wasn't no cheating, no abuse with him, nothing. It was the sister-in-law and the brother. So I ended up getting pregnant in 2018 with him with a set of twins. We had a confrontation. She was like, "I need to see a pregnancy test."
Oh no.
I said, "TJ, who is she?" Bed with us, so she don't need to know. Caused me so much stress and pain. I think I only made it to my second month,
Wow.
and I ended up losing my set of twins at work in the bathroom.
Oh my
Um,
God.
we called to let him know. The doctors called to let him know. He didn't show. He said he didn't get the phone call, which I'm pretty sure you got the phone call. So me being me, I had wrote a letter letting him know that I had lost the twins, and I had gave him all of my doctor's papers and put it in the mailbox. Come to find out, he never got it. The sister had got it. Yeah. So after that, I had got sick really bad. So I had what you call this cariocarcinoma, which is like a stomach and uterus cancer,
Mm-hmm.
which it makes you just kind of bleed out. It's like you're hemorrhaging, but you just
Yeah.
can't stop. So it had got to the point so bad where I would just stand up. It would just gush out until it stopped when it went. I got down to 109 pounds. I was going to chemo. I was going to radiation. I was taking medicine. I had what my kids say. I look like a dead skeleton, and they can joke about it now, and I'd be like, well, skeletons are bones. That's why I can laugh about it now. They were
Yeah.
trying to make me feel better.
Yeah.
Um, and then me and him kind of reconnected like later on in 2019 after I started, trying to gain my weight back. He would come to my job every day and try to apologize, and it just didn't work. It was never gonna work, and it was never gonna work just because that sister was still there. Every relationship he has that he's talked to me about, she's in the middle of, and it's like, hey, you're an adult. She's married to your brother. Somewhere you got to
Right.
draw the line because you're never gonna have anybody.
Period.
So, like, we talk from here to there, but it would never be the same for
It
that.
wasn't
Like,
gonna be the same. Absolutely not. That's crazy.
it won't. Then after that, I stayed neutral. I didn't deal with nobody at all. Fast forward for that, my mama, she died in 2020. Still hadn't dealt with nobody. And then I got really, really lonely. And once again, that dating app, which is gonna be the death of me, one of
Child, look, we ain't gonna put
these
that out in the
days.
atmosphere.
Um, I met someone named Randy. Um, you feel some type of way about that name too?
No, it is. It's not even the names. The
Um,
dating apps. The dating apps is what I have.
I
I'm
thought.
not. I used the dating app one time, and that's all it took for me. I just. It's not my. The dude was weird. He was weird. He was super weird.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and
And
I
most of them, as you look at it, most of them are.
everything was normal. Everything was normal until we saw each other face to face. And I'm very,
Hmm.
I watch the Lifetime movies. I'm not gonna lie to you. And so I saw the Craigslist killer, you know. So I'm seeing these things and I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. Nope, I don't need to be on nobody's milk carton. I don't need to come up missing. Like I'm not that free of a person to be like, let me get on this dating app and see what's up. So then you got to pay for some of them to actually try to find somebody quality. I'm not. I'm on a budget. I'm not finna pay to talk to nobody when I could just meet somebody
See,
organically and
I didn't.
talk to
I
them.
didn't.
Yeah. So my whole thing has always been with those. If I can't meet you and everything was fine, we texting back and forth. Even the phone conversation wasn't bad. So it got me to the point to actually go on the date with him. And then, like I said, it was weird. He was weird. He turned out to be a weirdo. So I don't want to be in no crazy situations. And when I start feeling the things not feeling right,
Mm-hmm.
I'm out. I really, really am out. So that's why me and day naps are not. My friends be like, just get on them. You'll have fun. I don't want to have no fun. I'm good. I'm straight. So, mm, mm, mm.
I think that was my last straw for that. Um, that I had a. I was trying to fill a void. Is what I was trying to do
Okay.
when my mama
Okay.
passed with that situation.
Yeah.
So it was hard, and I mean really hard. Um, and when I mean hard, I mean, how do I put this? Um, um, it was hard to the point where anything or anybody would just fill that void for right then and there. Um,
Mm.
I hadn't even known him. My mom passed in September 2020. I probably hadn't even known him maybe 3 months, maybe
Mm.
four tops. Um, but like the first 2 months, it was like love. You're gonna be married. You're gonna have this family. You're gonna have this little dog, the little house with the fence. That's how it
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
When my mama died, it was like a 360.
Mm.
Um, and I was coping, and I was dealing, and I was trying to heal, and I was mourning, and it was, you ugly, you crazy, you psycho, you're gonna die. And I had stopped my treatment. I did. I had came to a complete halt when my mama died.
Mm.
And I didn't know exactly what type of person he was until after my mama passed.
Mm.
Didn't know that he still had a girlfriend, had no clue.
Whoa.
So I was running back and forth to Dyersburg every other weekend that I would be off. He would never come to Memphis, not one time.
Mm.
I mean, not one time.
Mm.
And after my mom passed, I went home. He came up there. He came to my mom's funeral for one. The day before my mom's funeral, he beat me so bad. I couldn't even walk.
Mm.
Couldn't walk at all. It My mouth was swollen. Um, you can tell that. I don't know if anyone else could tell, but me getting up in the morning, the day of my mama's funeral. I got to prepare to sing and, do the speech for her and everything. You could tell that I had went through hell and back the night before.
Wow.
I don't know if anyone paid attention. I'm pretty sure my dad didn't pay attention because, of course, that's his wife, my mom. My sisters and them don't pay attention to me anyway, regardless, because they don't talk to me. So I know they didn't pay attention. But just anyone who really knew me knew that this was not Shamika. Um, when I say he would pull chunks of my hair out, I would be drugged around the hotel room. He showed his shoe colors after my mom passed. And then after that, I found out that's when he still had a girlfriend. Um, Even to this day, I still have the text messages. I still have the screenshots. I still have the recordings. And the reason why I still have them because it's a memory, not to go back to what you came from. If anybody looks too good to be true, 9 times out of 10, they're not. So, my kids be like, Mama, get rid of them. Like, that's something toxic. That's something that's going to bother you. And I have to tell them, it's not bothering me. It's letting me know Shamika never go to that situation again. And his girlfriend that he had, they would talk and laugh and she gonna die, everything. So he had a motive. And when I say we had got married in December 31st, we were literally divorced probably like a week, 2 weeks later, an annulment. His girlfriend sent me a voice record and she tagged me on Facebook and said he was still messing with her. And his motive was if anything was to happen to me, since he was my husband, everything will go to him. And I don't know why some people think that, because everything that I have is going to go to my kids because my
Right.
kids'
We got
name is on
will.
it.
Yeah.
That's how I have things set up. Yeah. Um, she would send me voicemails, screenshots. I mean, everything of them laying together in the bed. It was a whole list of everything. My breaking point getting away from him was I was headed to work. He had found a job in Troy, Michigan. It's like maybe 20 minutes outside of Flint. Um, and he ended up hitting me in the face while I was driving and I almost lost control of my car. That was my breaking point.
Wow.
He had told my daddy, he had lied to my daddy or whatever. And my dad went in the room, come on, we're going to shut the door. He had told daddy that he had hit me once, which was a lie. It had been multiple times, multiple times, multiple times. So my daddy explained the situation. He was like, well, I understand. And I was thinking in my head, I was like, what you mean you understand? And he was like, he said that he did not mean to put his hands on you, that he was trying to find a job and he had just was sitting there drinking and getting depressed. I said, there's still no reason to put your hands on nobody. I said, I'm dealing with my mom and mourning my mom. I'm not putting my hands on nobody. I said, it's the same thing. And my daddy didn't say much after that. My daddy just kept talking to him, just like kept talking to him. My daddy no longer has contact with him after everything happens. So he doesn't talk to him.
But let me ask you this. Yeah,
But
let me ask you.
even with that situation, I feel like I can't be alone in life. In reality, I'm not alone because I have children.
Right.
But in my head, I'm like, my kids gonna get grown, they get married, and I'm just gonna be a single mom out here with a little puppy. that was just me thinking like that. And so I have a friend that I had since I had moved to Memphis, um, which I thought was gonna work out. That was a failed relationship too. And then I'm starting to think in my head, is it me? And people just always tell me, it's not you. It's not you. Sometimes you can be too much for a person that they make and they do a blame on you. And I was like, I don't want to blame nobody. And they was like, no, you just step back and you just look at certain things on the people that you attracted. And his mom talks to me to this day. Like, she called me every single day. And she talked to me about a lot of things before. And she was like, sometimes your mate that you have can be jealous of you and what you have going on. I had never thought about that, never looked at it, because I'm like, how can you be jealous of your mate when you're in this together?
Yeah.
So if I'm striving for something and you're there with me, we supposed to be striving together.
Together. Yeah, we're in a partnership.
Yeah. But he didn't look at it that way, everything. When I say that man made me lose everything, I lost everything. For the simple fact that he didn't want to do anything. He wanted to be taken care of. I lost
Mm.
my house. I lost my house. I lost my car. The only thing that I still had was my job and my shop. And I had to rebuild that after I got rid of them. I'm not the type of person that go in nobody's phone, but I went in that phone. I seen everything that you could think of, and I took pictures of it. And I didn't say nothing. I didn't wake him up. Didn't ask him no questions. I sent a nice text before I went to work. And I made it to work, and he texted me. He said, "Here we go, Mika." I said, "What you talking about?" He said, "Here we go. What are you talking about with everything you just sent me?" I said, "I'm going to give you one last time to be open and honest so I can let you know how I want to deal with you." He said, "I haven't did anything, not doing nothing." I said, "You sure?" "Yeah, on my mama, on my babies." I said, "Okay." And that's when I started sending the pictures. When I say it was so many different females in different cities and different states and nude pictures, I was like,
Wow.
"What did I do to you?" He turned around and told me I work too much. This is a person who has never been out the state of Tennessee, let alone out the city of Memphis. When I came back in 2021, you took a birthday trip to Atlanta, my expense. Your second birthday, I treated you to a boat ride downtown, which you missed because you were so drunk and high, and your friends didn't want to see you have a good time because they said that a boat ride was lame. But now you constantly texting me or you calling me, "I miss what we had." No, you don't. You don't.
No.
It's impossible for you to, because I tried to make it work. I gave you chance after chance after chance. Even when you shot my tire out on my truck, I still gave you a chance. Yeah, so I had a Impala is what I had. Um, the transmission had went out. He pushed my car until my transmission blew. He
Mm.
told his manager at where he was working at X Lines at the time, said, "I drove it until I messed it up. Why would I drive my car until it messed up, knowing that I'm going to have to be the one that pays for it, and that's my only transportation to
Right.
work and take the
Yeah.
kids to school." So I never told him. See, we were living in a hotel at that time because, like I said, he made me lose everything, and I was had to literally try to rebuild my life. Um, I didn't tell him I had got a nice sum of money once I left Target, and I didn't tell nobody. Only my kids knew what I had because we
Right.
were taking a lift to school, taking it, and that was costly. When
Yeah.
I
That costs
say
money. That costs a lot of
you
money. I
making
promise it does.
yes, you making 6 trips on one day, you coming out at least 150. It's just one way can be at least $20, depending
Yeah.
on where you are. So I didn't say anything. Me and my oldest daughter had got up. She had to go and pick up her graduation gown. I didn't say anything about where we were going. She went with me. We had went downtown. After she got her robe, we had ate lunch. And she was like, "Well, Mom, what we about to do now?" I said, "You know what? I don't know." I said, "But I gotta get a car." I said, "I have to get a car before the end of this year." I said, "Cause we in May. You got June, you got July. It's gonna be getting cold real soon."
Mm-hmm.
So she was like, "What you wanna do?" I said, "Oh, we'll just catch the lift to one of the car lots." And that's exactly what we did. We caught a lift to one of the car lots over there on Mendenhall in Mount Moriah. When
Okay.
I say, baby, we didn't leave till I found something that we liked. That's when we left.
Mm-hmm.
The man was like, well, it got to be something out here you like. I'm like, nah, I don't see nothing. Kay was like, Mom, we're going to walk one more time. We end up walking. We seen a Mazda truck. It had just came on a lot. It wasn't even in their inventory. I was like, I kind of like this. Like, I got older kids. I kind of like this. She said, well, Mama, test drive it. And he was like, you want to test drive it? I said, sure. So it was a push start. I had never did a push start before. I'm so used to keys.
Yeah.
So I took it for a spin. We had made around because we was at the hotels on Riverdale out there. And I had called my middle baby. I said, Kayla, come downstairs real quick. Because, of course, he
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't have known what we were in. And I said, hey, I said, you like this? She was like, yeah, I like it, Mom. She said, it's roomy. I said, so what I need you to do is, I said, y'all go back upstairs. I said, we're going to be back maybe like in 30, 35 minutes. I said, I need you to get your little brother dressed and your little sister dressed, and I'm going to come back and pick y'all up. We went and we closed out on that truck and signed it. He had never knew I had a truck because I parked it right in the front. So he didn't know who was getting out of it. So his mama ended up finding out I had a truck, and she was like, I'm so proud of you, Mika. She was like, you really are building yourself back up in the person who broke you face. And that kind of let me know, like, I understand he your son, but somewhere it's a disconnect between you and your son. I
Yeah.
know how some mothers are. They don't be wanting to let certain exes go.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what's with that, but she's a little bit different. Like she calls and she checks on me, just more of a person. I'm more of a loving person than he ever was. And then he got a little upset and was like, "You didn't let me know that you had a truck." I said, "Was I supposed to?"
Right.
I said, "See, here's the thing. You're not helping me. I'm struggling, and you here laying in the bed doing God knows whatever with whoever, and then you come back looking at me in my face." And then the day he shot my tire out, he had his mama drop him off. His mama was like, "Don't get over there messing with that girl and go to jail because I'm not getting you." Me and that middle daughter, I said, "Kayla, you want to help me do something real quick?" She said, "Yeah, Mama, what is it?" I said, "Help me pack all his clothes and put it at the door." She did just that. And he's been away from me ever since. But you called and you keep up with me. And I'm trying to figure out, why are you keeping up with me so much? You didn't like what you had when you had it. So why are you stalking my page from different pages? Why are you hitting hearts and leaving comments when someone has something to say?
Mm.
My graduation, you didn't show. You started a whole fight at my birthday party that was planned for me. It's like, whatever I try to do good, you try to ruin it or make it about you.
Yeah.
And everything is not about you. Like when I say, if I'm with you, I'm going to love you. I'm going to help you. I'm going to make you grow. Because what I'm doing, if I'm growing, I need you to grow with me. I don't need you
Yeah.
to go backwards. Whatever
Yeah.
you've done in the past, whatever mistakes you made in the past, I need you to get over it, because we're not going that way. We're not looking backwards. We're moving forward. We're trying
Right.
to accomplish something in life and have things. And one of the things that I do want, I do want someone to build with, like the accomplishments that I'm doing. I want somebody cheering in the crowds for me. I want to cheer for other people in the crowds, but I'm not rushing it because of my past experience. And it
Yeah.
just kind of, it just led me pretty much with a sad face. But at
Right.
the same time, I don't walk around blaming everybody else. I do look at my faults. I do look at my flaws. I do look at myself. But one thing that I'm now is questions per the happy, or what if I did that? I can't no longer do that because it's not even a 50-50 relationship. It's actually 100. Both parties should put 100% in it. It's never a
100%
50-50.
in it.
But
Absolutely.
no one looks at that though. Everyone thinks it's 50-50, or the man pays this and takes care of this and the woman does this. It's not about that anymore. Because I'm not gonna sit at home. I like working too much. And a lot of people tell me, even like men that try to approach me, you work too much. When are you going to fit me in? I have a full-time job. I'm a manager for one. It's holiday season and I still have 4 children. And sometimes I still need my time for myself, which may be an hour, it might be two. But I can't place you where you want to be. I had a guy tell me one time, you need to make a sacrifice. I said, for what? Because you work too much. Mm-mm. I said, you going to help me take care of anything? I mean, when you tell me I mean and you say it slow like that, that means a no.
That means you have no intentions of doing anything or contributing anything to my situation. It's funny, and I have a couple of questions. I ain't stopped you because you was, first of
Good.
all, let me back up real quick. Um, the guy that you had the relationship with that you married around the time of your mom's passing, um, your dad continued the conversation with him or continued to stay in contact with him
Mm-hmm.
until after you guys were officially done.
Mm-hmm.
Additionally, um, he was like making excuses for the guy. How did that make you feel?
Um, I was hurt. I was. Um, it kind of upsetted me in a way.
Yeah.
Um, mhm. Made me open up my eyes a little bit more on some of the things that my mama told me when I was younger and growing up.
Hmm.
Yes. Um, One thing my mama told me when I was growing up, all the way up until she died, was if anything happened to me in this world, you're gonna see your true colors of your daddy. The younger version of me growing up, I didn't understand what she meant. But the
Yeah.
older version of me, when she said it as I got older and as she got more sick, made me think about it a little bit more. And after she passed, when you get by yourself and you get alone and your thoughts start going, it made me realize on what she meant.
Yeah.
And different things of my dad started to show afterwards. It was he didn't have time for me, didn't want to be on the phone. My daddy already wasn't coming to anything that I've accomplished anything, let alone came to see me. That even decreased. My daddy didn't show
Yeah.
up for my graduation this past May. Like
Mm.
it was like a list of everything, and it caused me to have a breakdown. And
Mm.
was already this is my first year starting to grieve my mama. When I say when my
Mm.
mama passed, I transferred my job that I had back home, left my house here, and went back home to help my daddy. Because I'm like, he needs me. My other sisters
Yeah.
don't do nothing because they. I'm like, he needs me. And when I
Mm.
got there, he actually did. Um, he had cataracts in both of his eyes, so I had to be the driver and help him around for a
Mm.
couple of days. And then he started grieving, and he ended up being put off on work. They put him on a leave of absence because he needed to go to therapy.
Yeah.
He didn't think he needed to go to therapy, but
What's
he
that?
did.
What we don't.
Yeah, he refused to go to anything. And when they put him in, he was because my dad works for GM. Well, he's retired now.
Hmm.
Um, they made him go to therapy. Um, he had to sit in groups, and then he had to sit in on separate sessions to let them know how he was coping or whatever. So my daddy got put off of work in I want to say around June at that time.
Mm.
Um, and then he finally went back. And when he went back, it was September 2021 when he finally went back to work. And when he did go back to work, after all of the situations that went on between me and the ex husband of mine, that's when I got gone. It was my time. It was my time to disappear. It was my time to live my life. And that's what I did. Um, I got refocused on everything that I had been trying to do for myself. I had at that time when my mom passed, I had ended up really kind of letting my nonprofit go just a little bit. Um, but I was able to come back on it. But with my dad, when I say it made me feel like, am I your daughter for real?
Yeah.
That's how it made me feel.
Yeah.
It hurt. It did. It when I say it truly hurt, it truly hurt. It was to the point that I was questioning myself on what did I do to my daddy? Like, what could I have possibly done to you as a daughter? And looking back to me when I went to therapy after I had my breakdown, talking to them, I noticed that I was trying to avoid that little girl. Because, see, when I was growing up, my daddy wasn't really at home all the time. My daddy was always at work. My daddy got his finger cut off when I was about 8 months, maybe. My daddy
Mm-hmm.
went back to work when I went to kindergarten. So I was like 3.
Mm-hmm.
So I was used to my dad. Then after that, I had to get used to my mama because me and my mama didn't always have that good relationship. Um, I got used to her. Um, my mom would walk me to school, bring me my lunch. Sometimes I would eat lunch at home. We only stayed down the street, so she would walk me back.
Mm-hmm.
And to part of it, I feel like I was missing the love from my daddy.
And
It's
that,
like a little girl.
that was gonna be my next question. Do you think that some of your relationship choices had to do with that missing piece that you were missing from your dad?
It
Um, yeah,
it does. Like, even though we stayed in the same house, it was I go to school in the afternoon. My daddy got to get ready to go to work once I get out of school. So I didn't see you. When I did see you, you getting off in the morning. It's time for me to go to school. It was like a revolving door.
yeah,
And I'm really now I'm healing from it because
yeah.
my daddy would pay for anything, but I need you there sometimes.
I think
And I,
men,
I know already, and I know it in my heart. That's why I made some of the wrong decisions with
yeah,
men because I wanted my daddy.
yeah,
I don't want you to pay for nothing. And that's kind of like right now. People tell me all the time, like, they be like, what do you want? Or like, men that I have dated be like, I'm going to get you something. And I'd be like, you don't have to give me anything. I tell my kids that. I'd be like, you don't have to buy me anything or give me anything. I'm so used to my daddy always buying stuff. What I really be wanting is just for someone to listen and talk to and just, share my journeys and things with. That's what I be wanting for. I don't want material things. It don't interest me. If you get it, who knows where it's gonna go? If it's probably just gonna sit there. Now I do like flowers. I do like flowers, but like any other thing, I'm probably never gonna even pay attention to after you give it to me. It's
yeah,
just gonna sit
yeah,
there because it
yeah.
really doesn't mean anything.
Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. And I
That's
think a lot of men feel like, a part of security. I talk about that a lot. Security is, now keep in mind the lights do need to be on, the bills got to be paid, but security doesn't just mean the money that you spend. It doesn't just mean you being that provider. You need to provide wholeheartedly, not just that, but I need a true covering, right?
mm-hmm.
Um, and a lot of times, um, that doesn't always work out in our favor because either they feel like, well, if
Mm-hmm.
I'm paying all the bills, you need to stay at home and do A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. It's crazy how people have this warped mindset when I feel like you can build and grow together. It doesn't necessarily have to be one person going to work all the time and that sort of thing. Let's grow together. Let's see what we need to do. Is there a dream? Is there a goal? Is there something that you have that you want to do? Let's pour into that and let's build that up. A lot of people don't
Mm-hmm.
get that or understand that. So um
Yeah.
That's really crazy. So you talked about you going to therapy. So your healing journey, because I definitely want to get into that. Um, how what was the starting point for you to get to a place where you say, "Hey, it's time for me to stop dealing in these situations, and it's time for me to start healing."
So actually, it was two of them. The first one was when I got back. When I got back here, and kind of let everybody and anybody go. Um, but the more so for me was when what year? It was this past year. My oldest daughter graduated. She was 16. I was in 23. About is when I was able to kind of bounce myself back. Um, I had left Target already. Old Navy, the district manager had brought me over, and when I was able to get days just for me, I'm not working, able to spend time with my kids. I'm able to cook full course meals with my kids is when it started. And just over the past couple of months, it just became normal for me. Then when I had the breakdown in May, like I was on a good path until May. Like everything kind of just hit me. And from when I got released May 13th, it's kind of when everything, all my pieces was being put together. Um, I started going to therapy. I graduated from being into the group sessions to now being on one on one.
Mm-hmm.
Because now I don't have to sit with everybody and tell
Right.
everything to. Now I can talk to someone one on one so you can actually understand where I'm coming from and not feel like you're being judged. And it was actually when I went into Lakeside. So I know you don't really know me like that.
Right.
I used to wear lace fronts all the time. That's all I wore. Couldn't tell me nothing. That's that was just me. When I went into Lakeside, that third day when I came to life, I remember them talking to me and saying I could not wear a lace front in my hair. And I was like, "What you mean? I gotta take this off?" And she was like, "Yeah, you can't have anything." And they said, "You have to understand, this is a mental institution, so anything can be used as considered a weapon." So I was like, "Okay." And so she came back. I had took it off, and I was taking
Mm-hmm.
my locks down out of my ponytails. And she was like, "Wait a minute, that's your hair?" I said, "Yes, ma'am." She said, "All that's your hair and you have a lace front on?" I said, "Yes, ma'am." I feel more free now. I feel me. I feel like Shamika with my hair, my natural hair.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I'm okay. I feel like I'm not hiding. I feel like I'm not pretending to be someone else. It's either you like me or you don't.
Yeah.
That's how I feel with my natural hair. Like this is me. This is just me, and I'm loving myself more because I'm able to just be me. I'm able to just get up in the morning and not worry about my hair because it's my hair, and not worry about what nobody have to say about my hair because it's just my hair and it's just
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
But going through the therapy session, just making little sticky notes to myself and self motivation for myself, and waking up in the morning and letting myself know that I do have a purpose on being here is when I started to heal even more. So the more I tell myself and the more that I just write and I journal and I do my self treatments, I feel much better because people always say about doing self care and self love. And I had to stop and realize self care and self love is not always about going to get your hair did. It's not
Right.
always about manicures. It's not always about pedicures. It's not always about going outside. sometimes self-love is just about taking the time and getting to know yourself all over again, because
Yeah.
people just don't realize you can forget who you are real
Yeah.
quick. You
Yeah.
can forget trying to wrap yourself up with someone else and to be a part of their life so much that you forget yourself and the things that you have going on and the things
Yeah.
that you like. And I used to be a people pleaser all the time. Now I'm not. I could care less if you like me or not. If I tell you no, I mean no. I can't help you. Well, you used to, and I love when people used to, well, they tell me that still to this day now. Well, you used to do that. I'm not no longer that person anymore.
And you
Now
gotta set
it's
boundaries.
no.
Yeah, you gotta.
It's not. I'm gonna try. It's either a yes or no with me,
Yeah, and it's
and
a
that's why I
boundary
had
you
to
have to set.
take the time and set boundaries.
Yeah.
Because people will walk over you if you let them. They will use you up until they can't use you no more until you let them. And then when they feel like you're not worth it anymore, they let you go. And I had to learn it. And it used to hurt my feelings because I'm like, well, I helped you. I did this, I did that. And I had to learn everybody does not have the same heart as me. It was a hard thing to understand with that because
Yeah.
I love everybody. I see good in everybody because people make mistakes because they're
Yeah.
human.
Yeah.
But once I opened up my eyes and realized everyone didn't have the same heart, is when life became easier. And I mean real easier. When I started telling people no and taking days just for me, if and even with my job, if my mental not good, my mental's not gonna be good at work.
Right.
I won't be any good to you at work if my mental is not good already at home. You're not gonna get 100% good out of me if my mental is down. So I just, every day I find something that is worth living for and motivation for. Um, People always tell me, you post too many positive things on Facebook. Why not?
And you can politely scroll past my post. As a matter of fact, go on and unfollow me if you can't get into this positivity. I listen. Tell me I post too many
Yes.
positive things. No, 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 no. Yeah, no.
hmm
Yeah,
Like I just the giving back, like for my nonprofit, and I've learned even with like my nonprofit, people are really not gonna support you until you make it. So I push myself and I push myself and I tell people, you know what, my little small business that I have, my little small nonprofit one day, it's gonna be big. And once it get big, don't try to jump on this train afterwards because I'm building it now. And the only people that's with me right now, that's my nonprofit, is me and my kids. So when we go out to the shelters and we do dinners and we do brunches, it's just me and them. Like I'll have a couple speakers, but it's like I'm not an attention seeker.
right.
I noticed some of the people that kind of linger towards me only want to be with me just to have their face shown. I'm not known. I'm just like I'm a normal person here, but the promotion wise that I see them doing is like, okay, my face can be on this, my face can be on that. It's really they don't have a, how do I put this? They don't have a genuine heart when it comes down to the things that I like. So DV is kind of was is close in my heart. Like that's my baby. Like I now I'm able to speak on it without crying, and that's my baby. So when I do have brunches and I do have dinner and I do seek out in the public, it's like I need you to have a genuine heart with it. I need you to, if it's not your story, don't come in with a made up story. Like there's women and men that actually are hurting out here and dealing with this, and they need that love. They need someone to talk to, and the encouragement, and don't always, well, you know what you got yourself into, because I heard that a lot. You know how he was and you stayed. Sometimes people don't want to hear negativity. Sometimes people need to hear positivity
Right.
on a lot of things, because it's been plenty of times where I have not been in the right train of thought because of what people have said to me. And some of the
Mhm.
things are really harsh, like you don't know where my mental is, what I'm thinking of. Like I'm looking off into space, I'm looking at buildings and like, you know what, I could end it all and you over here saying this. So it's
Yeah.
like my day to day now, I get up before I go to work. I say my self motivation. I let I I tell myself that I have a purpose and I'm
Yeah.
reaching my purpose. And that's just how I have to, adjust my thoughts every day. Even if something small, really small, or like something negative comes through, I have to readjust myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and like I said, like with the dating situation, like I want someone to share those things with. Like I talk to someone now, but it's not even a really a talking. Like we know each other already, so it's just like we just hang out. It's just kind of what we do. But I will say I have the same interest as you, and don't think that it's awkward or you're weird or it's lame or it's childish, because sometimes your inner child comes out.
Well, yeah,
But
you
I'm
gotta
not
have
rushing.
fun.
I can't
Yeah,
rush.
definitely don't do that. And I think a lot of times too, people, when you're not ready, you jump into situations head first, and you don't give yourself time
Hmm.
to heal
Yep.
from that previous situation. You don't give yourself time to go to counseling. And so it's like, okay, well, here go the next
Hmm.
person. Um, and a lot of times I
Hmm.
think I did a question of the day one day, and I was like, well, how do you get over a past situation or a relationship? And a lot of people was like, get in another one. And I'm like, well, what? And a lot of people, everybody isn't broken from their relationships, but a lot of things that happen in a relationship, you're not in a relationship for a reason. A lot of things
Hmm.
transpired and took place, whether it was disrespect on that person's side or disrespect on your side.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah, it
Yep.
something didn't work out to where you're no longer in that relationship or that situation, right? So
And one thing you don't want to do is take whatever that you dealt with in your past relationship into another relationship.
correct. And a
That's
lot of people
something
do
you
that.
don't want to take
Yeah.
because
A lot of people do
let's
that.
just
Yeah.
say, yes, and the comparison, and I just don't see it as to get over one or try to heal from another when you get into the next one, because you really don't know what you're healing from.
No,
And I
you
don't think
don't.
people see that. It's like, well, we broke up because someone cheated. Okay, but there's more to that. Just because someone cheated, there's a backstory to it. Why? Like two people had to make it. It's just not, to me. I don't blame one party. You have to
Right.
take accountability for your actions and who the other person's actions too.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
But just the jumping from person to person, I did, and that's how I did it. And whatever I had going on in my past relationship, it went into the next relationship because I wasn't truly healed. I wasn't truly myself. I hadn't got over whatever it was. Like I hadn't talked to nobody anything. I didn't know what problems that I was dealing with. And now I just don't want all them spirits. Once I got them gone, I got them
They
gone.
need to stay. They need to stay where they at.
One
Go
time.
on over their spirit. Yeah.
Not today, Satan.
And so additionally,
Yes.
my child in the background. I'm so tired of him. Look, so this is the other thing. I was looking at this clip um today. I think Ayanla went on one of the episodes of tonight's conversation. I don't know if you're familiar with that or not. And she said, what we
Mm-hmm.
do is we focus on what happened in that past relationship. And because we're so focused on that hurt and
Mm-hmm.
that pain from that past relationship, we take it into that next situation. So you're actually attracting that energy that person did this, that, and the third,
Mm-hmm.
and you focus on what that person did, you attracting more people to do the same thing over and over again. So she said,
Mm-hmm.
she said, y'all need to stand up. And if you excuse my language, a bad bitch, you need to be the bad bitch that you are, and not necessarily fake it till you make it,
Mm-hmm.
but get into you and who you are, and be who your fabulous self.
Mm-hmm.
And once you start coming into you, you're gonna attract better things. It's not gonna be
Mm-hmm.
well, he did this and he cheated
Yep.
and I said, you better say that, Ayana. It's
Mm-hmm.
okay to glow up. We want to stay depressed. We want
Yes.
to stay in that mess. And then let the next dude say, well, baby, I'm sorry that happened to you. I ain't gonna do it. And then he turn around and do the same thing. And
Mm-hmm.
guys too. Same thing with guys. Well, the next
And
woman
the
come along. Well,
same
baby,
thing.
she couldn't do that, but
Yep.
you let me do it. And
And that was
and it
one
ends
thing
up,
that was happening.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I look, it's okay to take your time. Number one, you ain't got to jump and rush into anything to get over the last person. But it's also
Mm-hmm.
okay to come into you and to get into you, spend time with you, get to know who you are, so you can level up, so you can do what you need to do. Otherwise, you're gonna keep attracting the same energy.
Mm-hmm.
Period.
Yep.
Period. Period.
Yep.
So,
Because we went to Biloxi in October.
mhm.
And when I say me and my kids had the best time, we had the like literally the best time. When I say I got dressed and me and my oldest baby just hit that city, we did just that. And I was like, it is more to life than what I'm thinking it is. Like, I truly enjoy being around myself. And when I mean that, like, people think it's weird for you to take yourself out. I'll go
Yeah,
in a heartbeat now. My
yeah,
kids be like, Mama, just be careful, watch your surroundings, which I'm gonna always do. But I have to go out because I'm still searching and healing myself. So I'm trying to search for me and just going out by myself and just having a good time, eating, taking a drink or something. To me, it's healthy because you don't have no negativity around you. Whatever's going on around you, whoever got whatever, that's whatever they got going on. You're not involved in that. You're taking time out for yourself, and for
yeah,
me, that's self healing.
yeah.
It is for me,
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well,
and
let
I
me tell
actually
you.
like it. I do. Like,
Yeah,
I go out in the
and that's cool, and that's what you need to do. I think a lot of times too, what you doing that too, you really get to know what you like, what you don't like too. I tell people try new things.
hmm
You know, if it's something you've never done before, go do it. I want to.
yes,
I've never gone on like a completely solo trip, right? With just me by myself going somewhere. I'll get in the car and
hmm
drive somewhere, but it's always to go stay with a friend, to go hang out, or I'm going to homecoming in my alma mater, or whatever that looks like.
yeah,
But I've never like taken a solo trip. I've always wanted to do it. And really, I want to take one of those train trips where you doing a train across the country and I'm in
hmm
the sleeper. That's what I want to do. I really want to
yeah.
do that. That's gonna be on my bucket list to do.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, to see what you like and you don't like, that's important too. Because if you don't know what you like, how do you expect
hmm
a potential mate to come in and guess what you like or what you want to do,
Yes.
right? Um, so all of those things are really, really key. They're really, really key. Um, and so I applaud you. I know when we talked on the phone the other night, I'm proud of you for going through this.
Thank
You doing the work, and that's what's important. And a lot of people won't. A lot of people just keep going until they can't go no more,
you.
or they
Yes.
end up in bad situations
hmm
for life. But keep doing the
Yes.
work. Keep striving. I want you for. Can you talk a little bit about your nonprofit organization?
I can. So I have been having my nonprofit. It's called Let Love Lead. It really kind of caters to both. It's just not really DV for me. It's also caters to homeless as well. Trying to help them get back on their feet, giving them resources. And when I mean like resources, I don't mean just like kind of referring them. I mean if I can give them the help from me, I
Yeah.
do that. Me and my kids over the past 3 years, we have placed people in hotel rooms for like a week, maybe two
Yeah.
weeks, just
Yeah.
depending on their situation. We done did like the toy drives we've done. We have collected clothes to give to them. It's a sense of peace for them. And at least 3 times a year, I'll go out to one of the shelters and do like a brunch, either for Christmas. I did one in for October in honors of DV month. Sometimes I do one for Valentine's Day or I do one for Mother's Day, just so they can feel love.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what they're missing.
Yeah.
Um, so like my oldest daughter, well, not the oldest one, the middle one, she wanted to try to, go into the actual shelters and do like the babysitting in case they want like a mommy day out or something like that. But we have to get
Mhm.
consent from that for certain shelters. We go into certain shelters and we set up and the cleaning, whatever that we could really do to help them. And it's
Yeah.
just more for them to have that sense of peace and know that somebody is there to care. There's someone around that has actually went through this situation and is still standing tall, not someone who is telling them that they've been through it and you can't really tell.
Yeah.
So like with some of the women, like most of the ones from the YWC, I still talk to this day.
Yeah.
And they just always call me and be like, you really helped us. I don't mind with what I have to help others because
Yeah.
I know I once was in that situation. I would have wanted someone to be there for me. Some people don't have
Right.
nobody. Like I
Right.
had my parents, but that was different. Like they didn't come to my rescue. I had to find it out and deal with it on my own. And
Yeah.
just that's just like some of the things that I like, to help them with. Like I had one stay with me. My daughter was like, "Mama, I don't know about that." I was like, "I don't think she gonna harm nobody," and she did. All she wanted to do was get back on her feet. She stayed with me for
Right.
4 months. Have someone that she knew that her back. And
Mhm.
when I say I can't even really call her a friend because I don't know her long enough to call her a friend, but
Mm.
she gives back now, and that's one thing that I love because she's paying it forward.
Yeah.
So that's like the type of things that I like to do is just help them, give them the resources to, make sure that they're living a decent life and try their hardest to get away. Like I get calls in the middle of the night, and I do refer them because I'm real close with the YWCA.
Right.
So whether someone try to call and say, "Hey, I don't have no room," if they call me and I make the phone call, you just come straight into there. So I just try to
Yeah.
make sure that they're not on the street. They're somewhere safe.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. That's good. Well,
and I want more. I want more women to get involved with it. And like I
yeah.
tell them, it's not just women that get abused, it's men
Right.
too.
Yeah. Yeah.
But no one
I've
understands it. They be
seen it
like,
on both ends.
men get abused.
They do.
Yeah. So
They do.
I want the community to get more involved with the DV here in Memphis because to me, I feel like domestic violence in Memphis get overlooked until either
It's too
the
late.
abuser or the abusee is dead. And it's like, well, we tried. You can try a little
No,
harder.
y'all ain't try hard enough. I think the legislation too and the laws to contribute to that. It's
Mm-hmm.
gotten better over the years, but I really think that the laws contribute to that a whole lot. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and so, the work that we do in communities, very, very important. But I also think that it's also equally important to get with the lawmakers, in your cities,
Mm-hmm.
in your states, in different places, so that those rules and regulations and laws can change because a lot of women get
Mm-hmm.
stalked until it's too late.
Yes.
um
Yep.
it's really crazy. It's a crazy situation. It's like, well, we can't, the police really can't step into a domestic violence situation in certain
Yeah.
states. They can't, if it's domestic, they can't deal with it, or everybody going to jail, and you might not have been the assailant in the situation. You may have been trying to,
Mm-hmm.
you know protect yourself. So those are just some of the things, with that. Um, well, I want you to tell people how they can reach you, at least like with your nonprofit and everything, because if they do want to give back, I think that's super important, to be able to do that, or anybody that want to help donate, come volunteer, any of those things. So can you tell them how they can touch bases with you?
Okay, so my Facebook page is just my Facebook page is Shamika Williams. My nonprofit is Let Love Lead. It's on my Facebook page. It's a purple butterfly because I love butterflies. It's purple and white. So you can reach me on that's my actual nonprofit page as well. And then I do have a TikTok. It is Shamika Williams 84, and then my Facebook page is Shamika Williams. So everything kind of just ties back to me. But my nonprofit is the one that I think you all should just really aim for to get a hold of me because I can receive the emails, I can receive the text messages and all that because it's going to come straight to me.
All righty. Well, I want to thank you so much for sharing your story. Definitely hope somebody catches on to the message from this. I'm definitely hoping that it touches somebody. And I thank you again so much for coming on my little podcast, my little old
It's
podcast.
not a little podcast, it's going to be big.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. We working on it. I hope so. Working, working, working. But thank you so much for coming on,
Don't get me.
and sharing your story. If you guys want to follow me, you can follow me at Cocktail Therapy the podcast, and on all social media platforms except for Facebook. Facebook is Big Ski is Faith More, but all my other social media forums is at Big Ski is Faith. Make sure you're following me, checking it out. This show premieres every Wednesday live on Facebook at 6 p.m. So make sure you are tuning in and following. That's all we got for you guys this
Do
evening.
you have a
Thank you.
YouTube
Go ahead.
page?
We do. As a matter of fact, my child got to upload the episode because I didn't know. My son just flew in last night. He went out of town to go visit one of his homeboys. Flew into town. Flight got delayed. Flew into town. So Facebook was acting up yesterday. I couldn't upload. I had it set to go ahead and go live. It didn't go live. So I had to set it later. And so what he did the last time for me was it went live and then he went ahead and just uploaded it to the YouTube page. So it's Cocktail Therapy, I think, over on YouTube. Cocktail Therapy. I don't know if he put the podcast behind it or not, but it's on YouTube as well. And as soon as I get access I should have access to it. I probably do. I had him set up. He's the computer genius. I am not. I just know how to talk. That's all I know how to do. So it's a Cocktail Therapy over on YouTube as well. So make y'all see this purple couch with the wine glass on it. That's me. That's Cocktail Therapy. So please follow me on all those platforms, and then you also can listen to the episodes as well everywhere you listen to podcasts. I got to upload the one from last night. See, I'm behind. But I thank you so much again for coming on, and we will see you guys next time. All right.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming.
Thank